Hi, in this video, we'll explore the concepts of what an Islamic government ought to look like and the concept of vilayat al-faqih, or the guardianship of the Islamic jurist, as developed by Ayatollah Ruhullah Khomeini in the text Islamic Government, Governance of the Jurist, originally published in 1970 and excerpted in Princeton Readings in Islamic Thought, edited by Roxanne Ubin and Muhammad Qasim Zaman. My name is Sabah Fatma, and I'm a professor of philosophy at Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville. An Islamic government cannot be a tyranny, a monarchy, or a modern constitutionalism because it operates on a fundamentally different set of principles. Instead, an Islamic government is defined as a system in which rulers are bound by the Quran and the Sunnah, that is the life of Prophet Muhammad, making it a form of rule governed entirely by divine law. In this system, the authority to legislate belongs exclusively to God. As a result, the institutional structure of Islamic government excludes a branch of government where people use secular criteria to legislate and replaces it with bodies that work to figure out what Islamic laws are and then implement said laws. Unlike republics or monarchies, where humans create laws, Islamic government simply enforces laws that are already divinely given. Therefore, ideally, law in an Islamic system is a supreme law over all individuals, including the rulers. So, who should rule? The faqih. At the center of this system is the faqih, or the Islamic jurist. This leader must have intelligence, administrative ability, a person who's free from major sins and has moral integrity, and that person would have the same functionality as a 12er Shia imam, but does not have the same divine status. But the two most important characteristics of this jurist must be that they are just and that they have deep knowledge of the Islamic law. The ruler must be a qualified jurist of their time. Knowledge of the Islamic law is essential because governing consists primarily in implementing legal rules. This person is vilayat al-faqih, or the guardian of the Islamic jurisprudence. A problem arises during the occultation of the 12th Imam, which is that when no divinely appointed Imam is present to rule, how do we know what is indeed truly God's law? However, for Ayatollah Khomeini, abandoning an Islamic government is out of the question because Islamic law remains valid and must still be implemented. We cannot simply wait around and do nothing against oppression, using occultation of the Imam as an excuse. Instead, we must be the best Muslim possible until his return, the Imam's return. Government is therefore necessary to maintain order and defend society and enforce justice. There are many qualified jurists who already exist, who possess necessary knowledge and the moral integrity to govern. As mentioned, these jurists have the same governing authority as the Prophet and the Imams in terms of administrative duties, but not in the spiritual rank. That is, they are fallible and not divinely appointed, according to Ayatollah Khomeini. Consequently, it becomes the duty of the jurist, individually or collectively, to establish and maintain an Islamic government to the best extent possible. Khomeini's idea fits into a broader category of political theory, the guardianship model. This idea has parallels in other traditions, for example, the idea of philosophers as the ruling class in classical political theory. Why does all of this matter? Khomeini's theory of vilayat al-faqih presents a powerful vision. It prioritizes divine law over popular sovereignty. It elevates scholars of theology as our moral and political guides. It seeks to create a morally oriented society as its primary aim. And at the same time, it raises important questions. Can political power and religious authority, especially fallible authority, coexist without abuse? And how should societies balance faith, reason, and practical governance? Understanding some of the arguments presented by Ayatollah Khomeini's treatise on Islamic government helps us understand ongoing debates about religion and the state. Wishing radical care for our communities and solidarity in our shared struggles.